All right, so I thought we would start with just a quick show of hands. How many of us in this room have ever, and I mean ever, even if it was just for a millisecond, considered running for elected office? Wow, that is a lot more than I expected. But you know what? That's great. That's great because it's a really high number. I didn't count because it's definitely more than 50%. But that's what it should be. Unfortunately, that's not really the case. You see, in the 112th Congress, females in the United States Senate only made up 17% of the total membership. Now, it's true that in last month's elections, we did see some gains. Women gained some seats in government, and that brings us to the 113th Congress. And unfortunately, though, we only saw a 3% increase in those seats. Now, when we look at things on a global level, it's also pretty upsetting. And when you compare where the U.S. is in terms of women participating in national parliaments, the U.S. ranks far below countries like Rwanda, Iceland, Spain, Afghanistan, and Iraq, where we come in at 80th place. That's terrible. It is. I know you're laughing, but it's terrible. It's true. It's unbelievably terrible. But why? Why is this the case? Why is it that so few women in the U.S. participate in politics? Maybe it has something to do with the fact that we don't want our private lives broadcast on the news every night.
This racy photo has cost the mayor of Arlington, Oregon, her job. Carmen Contra-Gronquist has been ousted by 3 votes, and she says she feels betrayed.
And chilly.
And naked.
Or maybe we don't want to be comedic fodder.
I don't want to say she's a ditz, but last night my stripper's fake name was Sarah Palin.
Yo, let me tell you something about Sarah Palin, man. She's good masturbation material.
Maybe we're worried that people won't care about the actual issues that we're standing up for.
Vogue did a feature issue on you. They did a spread. You looked fantastic. So I have to say, did it bother you at all when Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said you were the hottest member in Congress?
Maybe we don't want to have to answer outlandish and offensive questions about our bodies.
Breast implants, did you have them or not? Because that's all over the internet about you in mainstream media.
Maybe we don't want to have to hear someone tell us that we're not qualified for our jobs.
Let's not forget, and I'll be brutal, the reason she's a U.S. Senator, the reason she's a candidate for president, the reason she may be a front runner is her husband messed around.
Yeah, but
that's how she got to be senator from New York. We keep forgetting it.
Maybe we don't want to be vilified for actually taking a stand.
When Barack Obama speaks, men hear, "Take off for the future." And when Hillary Clinton speaks, men hear, "Take out the garbage."
When she reacts the way she reacts to Obama, with just the look toward him, looking like everyone's first wife standing outside a probate court.
I don't know what they're getting at here, Tucker. What do you think they're saying about Hillary?
I don't know, but that is so perfect. As I have often said, when she comes on television, I involuntarily cross my leg.
And now this one's my favorite. Maybe we don't want to have to defend ourselves against accusations that we're not good enough just because we're women.
You get a woman in the Oval Office, most powerful person in the world, what's the downside?
You mean besides the PMS and the mood swings?
Now, odds are you've probably seen these clips before, or you've seen similar ones. And you know why? Because they're in the news all the time. And I know that I'm not the only one who is disgusted by them, annoyed with them. But you know what? I'm not really shocked by them. I'm not shocked because this is what's now expected. This is what we're used to. This is what women are used to hearing about other women. This is what's the norm now. But you know what really upsets me? It's really biased. Because I don't think I've ever heard someone tell President Obama that he's not qualified because he's a man. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that John Boehner's just too hot for Congress. And I don't think, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anyone has ever asked Newt Gingrich if he has breast implants. Now, standing up in front of you all and talking about this now, it seems really obvious. It seems really plainly obvious, but that wasn't always the case for me. In fact, it wasn't until I had worked for several male politicians that I realized just how unfair the world of politics can be for a woman. You see, it was a couple months ago when a woman who's become very dear to me, named Diana, asked me if I had ever considered elected office. And do you know what I did? I laughed. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was this really cute, funny thing that she was saying, and I didn't take it seriously. But could you blame me? After seeing the way that women are portrayed who seek elected office, after seeing that, how could I have thought it was a good idea? How could I have wanted to pursue something that would put me in such a negative spotlight like that? And you know what? That's when it hit me. If this is how I felt, how many more women felt exactly the same? And what's worse than that? How many potentially amazing leaders have we lost out on because of that? Now, some of you might be asking, what's the big deal? Why do we need women in politics? Why do we need more women elected? Well, the big deal is that in order to have accurate representation, we need to have adequate participation. Now, women in the U.S., we make up 51% of the population. And according to the most recent census, that's what that number equates out to. 156,964,212 people. And for that number, for that 51%, we only have 20% of the seats in Congress. That doesn't seem equal to me. It doesn't seem fair, and quite honestly, it just doesn't seem right. But what can we do to fix it? What can we do to fill that space between understanding that we need more adequate representation and actually doing something to get it? What can we do to fill that space between a woman understanding that she wants to make a difference in her community and actually having the confidence and the support to do that? Now, Renee talked to us a little bit earlier about the power of women. And in my opinion, this is our power. This number right here, this number is our power. But we're never going to be able to use that power if we can't figure out a way to support each other. We have to stop accepting these media biases and these gender stereotypes, and we have to start holding women up to an equal standard of men on issues that are important to us. And we need to do this. We really do. We need to do this in order to help give women the confidence that they need to run. Because honestly, if we're not confident in ourselves, why would anyone else want to support us? In the film Misrepresentation, Marie Wilson, who is the founder of the White House Project, was quoted as saying, "You can't be what you can't see." Now, I ask you, if that's the case, look around the room. Look at the person who's sitting next to you. Would you support them? Would you vote for them? What about the women who you've heard speak today? Would you support us? I have a better question. What about you? If we want to be the change, if we want to see the change, we have to be the change. It's true. If you're sitting in this room, you are probably one of the most prominent women in Western New York, and odds are you have what it takes to not only run for office, but to help govern us to a place where we're not having these types of discussions anymore. I've come to a place where I can confidently say that I want to run for office. I want to accept that challenge, but I don't want to be the only one, and quite honestly, I can't be. So what do you say? Will you join me? Will you accept this challenge? Will you be that change that we can't see? Because if you won't, who do you think will?